I would think that from this 20 you would just about see the Olympic team.
Mohammed Mudsley. The ball for Malaysia.
Malaysia are a pretty tidy team, and it's quite a young team here, but they're always those results you pointed out earlier, always competitive. Australia often wins by a goal or two. Occasionally there's a blowout, but you can't underestimate them, and you can't underestimate them at home, of course.
Mark Knowles. Lincoln George, one of the co-captains in this team, being led tonight by Brent Livermore. Jamie Dwyer dispossessed by Bourgeois. Cut out by Bevan George, a little untidy at the end.
Characteristic of Bevan George, though, the reason he's such a good defender is that he anticipates, he gets in front, he makes the interception, and then he can launch the attack, and he often does it very quickly. He's a big man, but very agile. He's had a back injury for the last year or two, but seems to be moving okay.
Mohammed Sukri. Abu Ismail dispossessed, gives up the free hit. Here's Dwyer. Runs into a body check there from Mudsley and will get a free hit back where it occurred. No harm done to Jamie Dwyer, former World Hockey Player of the Year and World Hockey Young Player of the Year 2 years earlier.
Rob Hammond not starting for Australia. He's had some injury problems this year. They missed him earlier in the year in some tournaments. I think he'll make a difference if he's fit.
Andrew Smith brought down by Baljit Singh. Two Baljit Singhs in this team. Charan Baljit Singh, that was. Another one on the bench is Sarjab Baljit Singh. Charan. Fairly obvious.
Nice little interchange there. What they've been looking for Eglinton, or for Knowles, they couldn't find him, but been dangerous.
Hopkins called out then by David Guest. There's Dwyer again. David Guest, who apart from being a very good midfielder, is becoming fairly potent in the penalty corner battery for Australia as well.
He scored a crucial one in the Olympic qualifier in Maroochydore early in the game, and sort of thing, if you can have that as a string to your bow, it adds to your selectability. Danger for Malaysia. Malaysia will be tidy, they'll be organised, they're pretty well drilled, but will they be able to sustain it? One or two little bursts. This Australian team is really a potent scoring force, and that's the problem for Malaysia. They've got to be able to sustain it for a long period of time.
Abu Ismail again, in the attacking move. Played very well in a three-test series against Australia before the Commonwealth Games, Abu Ismail. They played three internationals in Perth. And he was, along with Boom Chua, the star of the show.
Got a hard job ahead of them, Malaysia, to qualify for the Olympics. They're in a pool with Germany, who surprisingly didn't qualify for Europe.
Japan, who are at home. Schubert, always dangerous in the circle. Away come Malaysia through Mohammed Sukri.
The thing about that qualifying tournament in Japan will be that either Japan, Germany or Malaysia won't even make it to the final, and they're all good teams.
Yeah.
You have to back Germany, and so Malaysia have got the job ahead of them, but they can spring a surprise, and in a one-off match anything can happen. these matches are important for them to prepare for that, because they're going to have to play in these matches against some real quality teams. This will really be good for them. That's why they accepted this tournament, I'm sure.
That lead again from Abu Ishmael, seen by Iqbal Madsley. Very, very good. Stretched the Australian defence.
And that's the value they have. Their forwards are nippy. They're quick, and if they can connect with one of those, they can get some confidence. Certainly, if they were to score, then Malaysia are much more formidable. In terms of skill, they have it. Physically, sometimes perhaps not the equipment. But of course, they're playing at home. They're playing in impressive conditions that they're used to. And if Australia are 5% off their game, then they'll be surprised tonight.
Good run forward that time, but cut out was Tengku Ahmad Tajudeen.
And usually the individual effort doesn't work, because you might beat one, you might beat another one, but often the third tackler is the one who gets you.
Who, interestingly, has his name spelt Madsley on the back of his shirt, but I promise you it is Madsley.
Rigid.
Aaron Hopkins at the back for Australia. First time touch by Dwyer. Schubert, who was denied. Andrew Smith. David Guest. Not a great option. The Binder comes away with it. The attempted toss over the top by Sharon Nabil and Denort. Win the free hit though. Kavinda. Nabil again. Corner ball.
He was isolated then. Quite well to get there, but surrounded by tacklers. Nowhere to go.
Singh to take the ball at the side. That takes it away.
I noticed Barry Dancer made a comment about how Australia were a bit too leaky at the back for his liking in the games against New Zealand. So they'll be tested here. They're playing good teams. We'll see how the defence operates. So far, so good.
Well, now, Sharon Baljit Singh was penalised there for raising his stick. That's not something that you want to see at any level of hockey. About to be tackled, and the stick comes up around the chin of the opposing player. Just no place for it in this game.
Ten minutes gone. You'd have to say it's been pretty even. No one's really had a shot at goal. Probably been in Australia's defensive half more than their attacking half. So not a bad start for Malaysia. They look lively.
Hopkins, burst of speed from the back. Eglinton back to Evan George. Dwyer, quick change of pace.
Australians aren't getting much space. Usually when they receive the ball, there's a Malaysian right next to them, and they have been unable to penetrate.
Eddie Hockinson gives away a free hit.
And he's mystified, and so are we. Just a little lift. Could have been probably play on, I thought.
again with Mohan Jiwa. Eglinton working for the penalty corner, earns it. First one of the game goes to the Kookaburras.
Well, he's a very dangerous forward, Eglinton. He was able to receive on the top of the circle, one-on-one. Well, we see it. He might have been a bit fortunate. Well, yeah, I think he was.
Played the ball a fair way in front of himself, didn't he?
The ball had gone away. I think he's lucky. It might have been a clash of sticks. Probably wasn't a corner, though. Fortunate. Australia's got a lot of options, of course, on the corners.
Kumar Subramaniam in goals for Malaysia.
Looks like Guest here, and the option for Hopkins to hit. Dorner and Smith are also in this team, so they've got a lot of options. Mail is not playing, Wells not playing, so it's healthy.
Guest straight into the runner's leg. And the penalty corner, and the two umpires cooperating on that. The rule is, if the ball's going towards the goal and he's running in a direct line, he's going to be pinged.
Well, it hit him, I think, hit him on the shin pad there.
Yep.
Yeah. It might have even been missing, you know. It looked like it was borderline.
You're a tough judge, you really are.
Well, but it's impossible for the umpire to tell. You know, that's a very difficult thing.
Well, in fact, it's the other umpire who makes that call. And he's supposedly standing in line with the shot. Guest, again run down. Buckington hits the deck, corner awarded. Well run by Charan Baljit Singh from Malaysia.
He did well. The ball went to the left. He just got his stick there.
Malaysia they come this time through Ahmed. Abu Ismail. Bevan George got the stick down, gets away the penalty corner. Well, you would have heard the stick check noise.
Well, that's a very bad decision. I'm sorry. Surprising. Tackle looked good. George got the ball. Knowles is not happy, and he's saying it. There's the player running. He was shielding the ball. There's the tackle. Perfect. Nothing wrong with that. That's a silly error, and Bevan George knows it, and he's telling the umpire that he knows it. That's a mistake.
One of the least experienced umpires on the international panel is Zulfikar Haider, and that won't help him.
Well, he'll be popular with the local crowd, but he won't be popular, I suspect, with the players and maybe those that watch umpiring. Not a chance for Malaysia, and certainly an important chance.
It's up from Abu Ismail. Mohan Jiwa is there on the battery. Mohan goes low, McPherson got the pad down.
Well, any save's a good save. He did well. He'd be happy with that. And that's
the mitt, in fact.
That is a good save.
Yep.
Got the mitt down. I expect it was turnover.
Uncharacteristic from Mark Knowles. Subraju Sankasi out there for Malaysia. Trying to do a bit too much with it, perhaps. No, still in there. Abu Ismail, almost. Well, they worked it well.
Very clever play. Just a little bit careless by Australia. That's what they've got to be wary of. And some clever play along the back line by the Malaysians.
Yeah, so
there it is.
Sandrakasi.
Look at this little touch. Back to him. There's it. And just knocked away by Livermore. Well played, Malaysia.
Great ball. Singh once again. Charan Singh wins the free hit just outside the circle. Well, they're certainly not overawed, are they?
They've got the local crowd supporting them, and they have some skill. They've got good players. They aren't to be underestimated.
Slaps it across, kept it flat. Just raised up off the Malaysian stick. Australia's free hit.
Well, 11 Australians in the defending circle. They're alert, wanting to make that interception. It's damned hard to get the ball through.
Devinder Singh gives up the free hit.
I'm not so sure that was a free hit either. That could have just been a play on. A bit technical, one or two of these.
Liam de Young on for Australia.
Well, I think we'll see a lot of substitutions given these conditions. Australia will use their full bench. I saw Rob Hammond warming up on the sideline. I'm sure he'll be on soon.
Chance for Australia, Schubert. And back in time was Mohamed Sukri. Huxley again, searching ball to the top of the circle. Hopkins read it best.
Jumped in front but didn't have anywhere to go. So Malaysia's still in attack.
Toss over the top, comes straight back at him. De Young sends Russell Ford on his way. Corner ball. Ball ball. And well left by Selvaraju. It was clever. He knew it was going to be his push in from the side.
Well, he was surrounded. If he trapped it, he would have probably been pounced upon, so he did very well. He knew what was happening.
Missed inside by Mohan Jiwa. Azwan Mizram, the captain for Malaysia. The goalkeeper, last man to touch it for Australia was Russell Ford.
I think Russell Ford will take it. Unlucky for Malaysia, but it's just that one moment, that one opportunity. Australia, Ford gets it here, knocks it across, and it's been put in by the Malaysian player. Ikmar he'd be disappointed with that. He was trying to do the right thing.
Live Thursday, the Dunhill Championship from Leopard Creek. Can Ernie Els claim another prize game? Or will it be Irishman Clark who steals the show?
Goodness.
The Dunhill Championship, round 1 Thursday, 10:30 p.m. live, Fox Sports 2.
Remember the independent hardware store? We do.
It's the one with experts, not amateurs looking at the clock.
It's one where they find you.
You don't have to find them.
And the one where you do a proper job. It's your local home timber and hardware.
The proper hardware store.
The new Rav V6, eh? What's under the hood?
200 kilowatts.
200 kilo wasps.
200 kilowatts! 200 kilowatts! Kilowatts! 200 kilowatts! 200 kilowatts! 200 kilowatts! 200 kilowatts!
New Toyota Rav V6 with 200 kilowatts. You better think faster.
Be in the game. Forging in the Kings still on the road, taking the show to Ballinger and the boys from the City of Churches. Dang! Adelaide take on Sydney Saturday, 7:30 live on Fox Sports 3. December's a cracker on Fox Sports. Football. Come all ye football faithful and catch every match of the Hyundai A-League and the Barclays Premier League. Live and exclusive on Fox Sports.
Absolute dynamite!
Basketball. We've three kings of the court, starting five, NBL and NBA. All live and exclusive every week on Fox Sports. Beautiful to watch. December's a real cracker on Fox Sports.
20th minute, Russell Ford puts Australia a goal up.
Well, they haven't had a direct shot on the goal, I don't think, but, well, besides the corners that were run down, and they're 1-0 up.
Ball across, but nobody there. Travis Brooks sporting a moustache for the month of Movember in Australia, helping to raise money for prostate cancer research. Grant Sherbert, great shot from Ford again, stopped by the goalkeeper, covers it up as Ibrahim. And the penalty corner results.
Well, it was a wonderful pass by Schubert, found Ford. He had plenty of time. He hit the ball very hard. Goalkeeper makes the save. He doesn't know where the ball is. He's sitting on it. And it's a corner. And the danger for Malaysia is that they can play tidy, good game, perhaps for 65 minutes, but it's those other 5 minutes which will hurt them. And this Australian team has a very potent attacking force, and they'll keep trying to score for the whole match. You have to be ever vigilant.
Push out from De Jong.
It's Guest again at the top.
And if they go for the hit, look for it to go right of the goals and Bevan George to be diving on it. Okay, went left. What do I know? What do I know?
They're saving that one.
Yeah, they must be.
Hopkins didn't hit it hard, but well enough to get it under the goalkeeper. You've got to think that Guest will get another go. There's a message from the bench. Moments, De Jong the pusher out.
And they're breaking as soon as De Jong flexes the left knee. Umpire Roel van Eert has had enough of it.
Well, we had a discussion about this. One of those, and then you send him to the half line, and I think you'd stop all the breaking.
Guest went low. Kumar covers it again, and this time gets the free hit because Bevan George went in a little harshly.
Well, it seems pretty hard on the attacking team. All he can see is the back of the defender, but it's the way they blow it.
De Jong once again outside as Brooks gives himself some space just outside the circle. Kavinder Singh intercepts. Well done. Boone is back on. Boone Chua. So is Eglinton. And Robbie Hammond on for Australia now.
He's had some adductor problems, so he just wants to get into the game, take his time. He's a penetrating player, Hammond.
Boone Chua. Lovely ball. Abu Ishmael They work the penalty corner. No free hit, just outside.
Clever. And they change direction quickly. Now, they'll be looking for a corner.
Lee. Charan Singh. Supri wins the free hit. Supri. Matsui took the free hit. Found the stick, an Australian stick deflected over the baseline, corner ball.
McPherson had to be alert on the post, he was, but it's a half chance, I suppose you call it. Here's the danger though, if Australia are broken then, Malaysia are in trouble.
Forward, told to go for space in territory, so he did.
Best at that end, I think, is the thought. Australia just playing a half court. They're not going into the Malaysian half at all. Try and win the ball. Retreating to the half line. I imagine that's going to be their tactic in this tournament. A lot of matches. A long way to go.
Stick check on Ahmad Tajruddin. Deflected away that time by David Guest. Malaysia's bench. Some very young faces there. Raju. Hit, leaves it for Charan and eventually slapped back by Mohammad Supri. Just out of reach of Chua.
Works very hard, Chua. Sometimes you think it just needs a little bit more support.
Dean Butler on for Australia.
Luke Dorner there. Australia will go through the whole list. Butler will get forward as often as he can. He's very dangerous when he goes forward. That pass wasn't the goods, but you see much more of that from him. It's better.
The call at Butts. Australia with a stick of Travis Brooks. Away come Malaysia through Shahrun Nabil. Just tried to do too much with it.
And Knowles really dangerous on the counter-attack. Made the interception, he's very fast. Ran out of ideas.
Nabil. Ismail makes a bit of room for himself. Bevan George, great tackle. Still Malaysia push forward. Desperate stuff back there. Good pressure from Malaysia. Charan Singh. Dispossessed that time. Big stick check on Bevan George.
Well, very good tackle by George in the end, but some clever play by the Malaysians. And there's the work in the defence. Oh, that was a bit untidy. Lucky to get away with it, perhaps.
And the long lead is Jamie Dwyer. Good ball for Eddie Ockenden. Kumar, the goalkeeper, got the kicker down, cleared the circle. Nathan Eglinton, and uncharacteristic mistrap.
Here's the shot from Ockenden. Comfortably saved. Didn't really hit it hard. And then we saw Butler pass to Eglinton. Could have been dangerous too. Couldn't trap it.
Shukri, stick checked by Jamie Dwyer, but gets the free hit. There's Dwyer. Shukri backed into him. Ockenden dispossessed. Slapped forward by Mark Knowles, just out of reach of Travis Brooks. Harry Dancer, and next to him in the white singlet is Matty Wells, one of the co-captains of the team, helping with the stats tonight.
Barry Dancer keen to see his team, at least by the end of the week, really playing with the quality he knows they can. They're not really on song yet. This tournament offers them a great opportunity to be tested by the best. Whereas the number one team to be tested by the next best.
Quite right. Mark Knowles. Eglinton goes back to Knowles. Aaron Hopkins. Robbie Hammond. Butler. Raised ball, well brought down that time for Malaysia by Hanafi Hafiz.
Well, Hopkins was coming up, and so the Hafiz changed the pass, and it's gone out of bounds at the other end. Both teams really adopting a half court. Malaysians waiting on the half line for Australia. Hammond just drifting back to get the ball. Here's Hopkins. Oh, and that's a uncharacteristic pass, easily intercepted.
Abu Ismail again.
It's clever, Abu Ismail. One-on-one, he will usually beat you. The dilemma is it's often one-on-three.
One-on-three is a bit harder, isn't it?
Yep.
Andrew Smith. Rob Hammond.
And Robbie Hammond not as fluent as he normally would be. He'd be just happy to get in, play a couple of matches, get into the tournament. I think we'll see the best of him at the end of the week. Livermore, Ford, they're sweating. It's hot out there.
Chua, who's come back on for Malaysia. Kavinder Singh. No support there. Boone goes to him. Kavinder ignores that, goes himself, works towards the attacking circle. Takes it to the baseline. And there's an obstruction there by Malaysia. Gives Australia the defensive free hit. They take it quickly. Dwyer. Outside him on the right wing is Ockenden. Brooks runs forward of him. Ockenden couldn't get it to him. There was a stick check there. Yes, there was. Penalty corner, Australia.
Eddie Ockenden was looking for the pass. The Malaysians all ran off and covered, but so he continued on. A little bobbling ball. There it is. Yes, his stick's been hit there. Well done by Eddie. And another one what Malaysia wants. Who will it be? Probably Smith.
Dorner is out there.
Dorner and Hopkins. And you'd have to think Dorner will take the shot.
Scored a hat-trick against them in the semi-final of the Commonwealth Games last year. 3 goals in a 6-0 win.
He is Australia's best, most powerful flicker, I suspect, at this stage. But they have some other options, which is good. Because you don't want to have all your eggs in one basket in this area.
Mind you, it's a mighty fine basket.
Yeah.
Penalty corner again.
And they're not happy. Hopkins fired that ball in. I think it was a Malaysian foot, but wasn't seen. Umpires can only blow it if they see it.
They're getting a bit thirsty out there.
Well, I think it's often those sorts of decisions that the umpires, the players get upset with as they walk off. Half-time, a corner before half-time would have been nice for Australia.
As it is, they walk off a goal to the good. That goal scored in the 20th minute of the first half by Russell Ford. Australia leads Malaysia by a single goal to nil.
And the goal that was scored was fortunate for Australia. Russell Ford passing across the circle, deflected in by a Malaysian defender. Goalkeeper beaten. Unlucky.
So 35 minutes to go for the host nation to pull that one back and perhaps score another, or for Australia to go further ahead. At half-time in Kuala Lumpur, Australia leads Malaysia by 1 goal to nil.
Live Friday, Swedish legend Sorenstam and Lamigo Gilbus team up with our own Nikki Campbell to take on Asia. Hello! Women's team golf from Perth.
Backing off, Rick Charlesworth with me in commentary. What would you look for if you were the coach of Malaysia in the second half?
I'm sure what Malaysia will be wanting to do is more of the same. They wouldn't be unhappy with 1-0. Australia's goal was perhaps a little bit fortuitous. Australia had the better of it, but they certainly weren't emphatically better. Malaysia have been very competitive. They've had the occasional foray. They've got some clever forwards at the front. They've won themselves a corner. If they can get a score, they'd be very happy. They'd be very happy with a 1-1.
Andrew Smith winning the corner. But I guess what's not conveyed by the pictures is just how draining the conditions are out there. It is temperature-wise in the high 20s. Relative humidity, though, in the 90s, believe it or not.
Well, and the Australians with their 16 field players, they used them all in the first half. They'll go through the list again, so they can keep up the tempo if they use their list. Perhaps Malaysia don't have the same depth. Australia, not at their best yet. They'd be wanting to be at their best, of course, at the end of the week. Just not quite the crispness, not quite the connections yet.
Boon Chua. Aslan Mizron, the captain for Malaysia.
There's Bevan George jumping in front again. That's why he's such a good player.
Dispossessed this time by Charan Singh. Hopkins did well.
The Malaysians have skill, as we've seen. They can win a one-on-one, but too often it's individual. They've got to get combinations going. They've got to pass more.
Grant Schubert winning that free hit for Australia. That's a poor effort. Aslan Mizron, Malaysia's captain. He's one out up there. No support at all. Just needs to hold it up and win the free hit, which he does and does well.
This is the dilemma for Malaysia, though. They get to these sorts of positions, but it's only through an individual bit of brilliance that they get into the circle. And they need more than that. They need a better way of doing it. Mind you, the individual brilliance worked then.
Mohamed Sukri.
They're quick, they're agile, they turn very well. They're probably not so good at finishing in this area.
Gutsy, free hit. Bevan George wins the battle against Abu Ismail. Russell Ford now has Schubert in support alongside him, takes it himself into the circle. Was he stick checked? No, he was not. Not according to the umpire. Good run though by Ford.
Yeah, his initial pass wasn't quite right, but then the ball came back to him. That ball rolled onto his foot. That's why it was against him. Dwyer now.
Jordan. Again, just trying to do a little too much. Andrew Smith looking for the penalty corner and finds it straight onto the feet of Mohan Jiwa. Australia had 5 penalty corners in the first half, didn't convert any of them.
Smith gets it here. He's just looking for a foot. Yes, he did that pretty well. And of course, he'd fancy his chances of taking it. No, it's not his day-to-day. He's walking back. And so, looks like it'll be
possibly David Guest.
David Guest again. And Hopkins, they're the 2 options. Smith, of course, is confident in this area, but perhaps another day will be his turn.
Malaysians working out who's going to run, who's going to stay.
Kumar Subramanian, the goalkeeper.
Migat with the face mask on. So he's obviously going to stay on the post. Guest, drag, push more than a flick. Penalty corner, raised ball if the goalkeeper was dangerous.
Didn't quite get it right at the top of the circle then. Timing's important for this shot, and just didn't quite get it where he wanted it. Yeah, the trap was just a little bit off. Had to move his feet to get around it, therefore not the power that he wanted. Bevan George is always hungry for a goal.
Hopkins straight into the run-up, and
that
that's
hurt.
Charan Singh.
It's hit his hand. Oh, I hate that. His hand was down low and it's hurt. Cricket glove on there.
Just making sure the hand's still inside it.
Ooh. His hand must have been very low. Now we'll see. Oh, it was lifted, yeah. We've got to be brave, and clearly the ball was raised.
I wouldn't think the Australians would be giving themselves top marks for their penalty corner execution so far tonight.
No, and now a chance for Malaysia.
Sukri was going to take it.
A lot of Australians in there, only 4 Malaysians.
Migat, penalty corner. That's what they were looking for.
The ball fired in fast, deflected, with George on the foot, nothing you can do. There it goes, just off balance, rolled into his foot. He knew it. All their options here. Baljit Singh.
Well, Sergeant Baljit Singh, he didn't play at all in the first half. We watched him practicing earlier tonight. He's got a pretty strong drag flick. Not sure about his accuracy.
Will bring the crowd alive. Australians will be rushing Livermore.
Sarjad went low. Lambert did very well. And then Abu Ismail messed it up when it rolled onto his foot. Good save, Steve Lambert.
Lovely save. Good work by the goalkeeper. There's the push. Low to the goalkeeper's right. And saved it with the glove. Solid. McPherson made a similar save in the first half. They've been Malaysia's best 2 chances. Hopkins having trouble keeping it on the ground. And so Malaysia again.
Shukri got that free hit because the ball was raised dangerously, but he seemed to raise it first.
He went for a little lift and then was tapped up into the air by Livermore. Whether or not the first one was dangerous is the question, perhaps.
Forward, lovely trap and move. Pushed a little too far in front of himself.
He just didn't want it to go so far. Work by Ford. Wins the free.
Penalty corner. Off on the Asian foot.
Quickly taken. Dwyer just fired it quickly into the circle. Off the foot. Here is the shot. Oh, well, he was just inside the circle.
Now they're none for 7 from these so far. On the law of averages, they're due to get one.
This is one aspect of the game that Barry Dancer wouldn't be happy with tonight. They're not going to change the combination. It's clearly the case that this is an opportunity for Guest and Watkins. On other days, there'll be other players. Naylor's not on the field tonight. Dorner not on at the moment.
Well, that was almost a comedy. And now Malaysia on the counter-attack. Shukri. Ahmad Tajuddin should have done more at the top of the circle.
They didn't quite have the confidence to take the break as they wanted.
Liam de Young with some pace. Grant Schubert, always dangerous. Schubert bursts his way into the circle. Well tackled in the end.
Well, you said the corner was almost a comedy, David. I don't think Barry would have been laughing.
No.
Barry Dancer wouldn't be happy. None from 8. Done from 8, you learn something too, and Australia are here to learn. They're here to polish their game. The main deal is next year in August.
Whistle, but the right whistle came off the feet of Kavinder Singh.
Crowd didn't like it though. They're showing their partisanship.
And I suspect what makes it less palatable, of course, is that it was late.
Yes.
Ball. Schubert. Got the save out of Kumar.
He did well to win it back again.
Corner, rather. And Schubert, originally from Loxton in South Australia. Gold medalist in Athens in 2004. Player down as Mudsley.